Hello, today's Bible study comes from the book of Luke, chapter 6, verses 12 through 16, and reads as follows. One of those days, Jesus went out to a mountainside to pray and spent the night praying to God. When morning came, he called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them, whom he also designated apostles. Simon, who he named Peter, his brother Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, son of Alphaeus, Simon, who was called the Zealot, Judas, son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor. Now, the thing you have to look at is, first of all, this was one of those days when Jesus went out to the mountainside to pray. It tells you that. And we get upset because somebody prayed too long. We at the pulpit too long during an altar call. But Jesus went and spent the night praying to God. And it must have been a prayer that was powerful because you're wondering what he was praying for. And part of it comes in the answer in verse 13 when it says, when morning came, he called his disciples. Uh-oh. He called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them. So there had to be more than 12 disciples. So he called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them, who he also designated as apostles. Now, this has to be a privilege to be called an apostle of Christ. Can you imagine the privilege to be called an apostle of Christ? And even with that being said, Jesus knew that there was a devil and a traitor still in the midst. Those who have not faithful preaching near them had better travel far than be without it. Christ was about to teach and give powers to these apostles later on. But if you notice, Christ always was doing good. See, Christ received a good thing, and as soon as he received it, he followed up with another good thing. He prayed, and the Lord answered this prayer. And what did he do? He went and told the people that needed to know about it. You will be my apostles. And he chose the 12. And this was probably a 12 out of many. So this privilege was high, and it was a huge thing. And even with his selection, Judas Iscariot was still in the midst, being a deceitful traitor that he was. So this is just, and when I say just, which is amazing, the selection of the 12 apostles. But remember how long Jesus prayed over this. This wasn't something he took lightly. This is something he came to his Father about, to tell him about what he wanted to do, who he needed. And he left it in his Father's hands, and he got his answer and came back and selected from his disciples the 12 apostles. Amen.